Hi guys, here's video number 2 with some examples. Identifying exponential growth and decay. So identify each of these as an example of exponential growth or decay, and then what is the y-intercept? Alright, first of all, remember that the y-intercept is somewhere on the y-axis. Okay, it's either up here or it's down here. But at all times along the y-axis, that's where x equals 0. So if you want to find the y-intercept here, you put 0 in and that disappears, and it's whatever your a is that becomes your y-intercept. Because anything to the 0th power is 1. Okay, so 1 times 12 would give you 12. That's going to be your y-intercept here. So your y-intercept here would be 0.25. Now, if it is growth or decay, remember that growth is where your b is greater than 1, and decay is where b is a fraction between 1 and 0. If b is 1, then it's simply a horizontal line. You're just going to multiply that out. So it's just going to be greater than or it's going to be less than. Right here, 0.95 is less than 1, so this would be a decay function. 2 right here is, because we're looking strictly at b for your growth or decay. So that's all you're looking at for growth and decay. In this one, your b is 2, so that is greater than 1. So this one is a growth function. All right, C. You put $1,000 college savings account for 4 years. So you have $1,000 to start with. There's your A. The account pays 5% annually. So you're going to have the 5% added on to the $1,000. So you got a 1 plus, just like when we did the modeling functions and put on our tax. You had 1 plus that. Here's 1, the $1,000 plus the 5%. So you've got 1.05 for 4 years. All right. So our y-intercept, because that's the C part of this, we're still looking for a y-intercept, would be 1,000. That's where the thing would start. Is this a growth or decay? Well, that is greater than 1, so this would be a growth function. All right. So number 2 here, these are ones that you should be doing, and I'm going to check them for you. But you'll have to do 2 A, B, C, and let's see if you can get those right. All right, what are the values of A, B, and A and B in this A, B to the X in the graph shown below? It's pretty easy because it gives you your y-intercept, and then it gives you another point. So you can do this pretty easily by hand. You don't even need Desmos. You can do y equals A, B to the X, and you have 2 x and y's. One is 0, 1. Okay. And one is 1, 2.5. So for the first one, that's where you found your y-intercept. We're going to have 1 equals A times B to the 0. B to the 0 just equals 1. So your A equals 1, just like I told you. There's your y-intercept. So now you have 1b to the x, and we use the second point. 2.5 equals 1b, and b to the 1 is just b. So b is going to equal 2.5. Don't even need to take a square root or do anything. You have a and b right off the bat right here. So y equals 2.5 to the x. Like I said, pretty simple. Okay, this is where I was telling you in the first one that b gets replaced by this 1 plus or minus r. And this is basically so you can find different rates of growth and decay based on what they're giving you in a word problem usually. A lot of times it has to do with population growth or population getting smaller, or decay. I had to use that, but and the others money. Use it for money too. The base of the exponential expression 1 plus r is the growth factor. 1 minus r is the decay factor. So once again, you can see that this is going to be greater than 1 for growth and less than 1, greater than 0 for decay. Okay, so here we go. You invested $1,000 in a savings account at the end of 6th grade. The account pays 5% annual interest. How much money will be in the account after 6 years? So the money grows at a fixed rate of 5% per year. An exponential model is appropriate. So they're defining them here for t and a of t. You can still define them with y and x if you'd like to. But your growth is going to be 1 plus the rate, which is your interest rate. Your A is your initial amount. That never changes. Okay. So here you go. I would, if I were you, write a basic formula out first before you get into this, where you have 1,000 times 1 plus the 0.05 to the t. And then you put it together so that you have 1.05 to the t. And then you go over here and your t is 6 years. So you'd have 1,000 times 1.5 to the 6th and get $13.40 and 10 cents. So the account made you $340 after 6 years. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you didn't have to go out and work for it. The money worked for you. So makes sense. Okay. Suppose you invest $1,000 in a savings account that pays 5% annual interest. If you make no additional deposits or withdrawals, how many years will it take for the account to grow to at least $1,500? Okay, so they're showing you how to do this on a TI 83. You can do it on Desmos. Let's see if I can get a screen up here. Thought I had a Desmos. Okay, there we go. You've got the equation y equals, and it was 1,000 times 1.05 raised to the x. Okay, so that's going to be off our graph. We're not going to be able to see it right there. Okay. Okay, so we've got the function in Desmos. You're going to hit Settings, and then you're going to hit Convert to Table, and here comes up your values. Here come your values. Okay. Let's see how far we can go. We need to go farther. So we'll just keep adding values here until we get that $1,500 100 that we want. Okay, we're getting close. There we go. So in 9 years, we should get that value. Now, it'd also help if we could do that manually, or at least set it up so we could use a calculator for it, by doing 1500 when we get 1500, because then you could get exactly when in that 9th year. Okay. If we divide here by 1,000 and get that by itself, then we get 15 equals 1.05 to the t. Now this brings up a situation, we don't know how to undo exponents yet. Well, you should from Math 3 use a log, the inverse function of that, but we haven't gotten there yet. Right now we're just setting things up. The population of Midland, Texas was this to start with, and has increased at a rate of 0.6 per year since then. Which function represents Midland's growth function after 10 years? 0.6%. Now, to convert a percent to a decimal, you have to divide by 100, which would be the same as moving this decimal over 2 spaces. So you're going to get 0.006. It's increased, which is growth. So we're going to add this to 1 to get our growth factor, which is 1.006. So our starting value is 89,443, and there's our growth factor. So your answer is C. And I'm running a little long here.